here's Brody Brazil.
I just want to say that if you've called in and left a voicemail that I have not used on a video, please never let that discourage you from calling in again the next time something is on your brain. 8334-BRODY. I listen to all of the voicemails. I get to use the very best ones right here on future videos.
Hi, Brody. This is Tony from Pasadena, California. I'm a big UCLA sports fan, and as we start another college football season, I'm just not used to this new alignment that we have right now. And I do miss the rivalry between the LA schools and the Bay Area schools. I really miss that. But my question is regarding the new rebooted Pac-12 that's going to form, I guess, next year.
Right.
It seems odd that still retain the name Pac-12 when it's really, you don't have UCLA, USC,
right,
Washington, Oregon, Stanford, and Cal. I think you should call this conference another name, because the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-12 represents the Conference of Champions, and this is a really different conference. So what do you think about that? Thank you.
Tony from Pasadena, totally agree with you. I mean, I could end the video right there and say, you're right. I think we all realize what has happened with the Pac-12 dissolving and these schools going to new, different other conferences, and the geography's all messed up. But it also kind of stinks that there's no powerhouse West Coast college conference anymore. And the Pac-12 had existed like it did for 110 years until now, and we're seeing that it's two schools and it's going to change, and that's fine. But I agree, it does need some rebranding. But have you seen, in the meantime, have you seen like the geography of the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference? Stanford and Cal, nowhere near the Atlantic Ocean, very much miles away from the Pacific Ocean. Does that seem or feel right from a travel or a rivalry standpoint? Or how is that ever supposed to be a beneficial thing? Is that going to last 110 years? Now, the Big 12 is a little bit different. The Arizona schools that left the Pac-12, Utah, which was in the Pac-12 for a short time, Colorado, which was in it for a short time. At least this one makes more geographic sense, mostly in the middle of the country. But then we get to the Big 10, which is actually 18 different schools. And the SoCal schools and Oregon and Washington are nowhere near the next closest school west, which is Nebraska. Yeah, the Big Ten's most western school used to be Nebraska, until it became Washington and Oregon and UCLA and USC. So I can't be a fan of how this played out, but I know the question is about the Pac-12, right? So we've established what's happened to the Pac-12, where these schools went, but what do you do with this conference as it starts to grow again, as it's about to expand, starting technically in July of 2026, but with the next school year, fall of 2026? And I credit Oregon State and Washington State for keeping this conference alive. Without them, and actually without them kind of being stuck in this situation, I don't know that they had a lot of other options to join a bunch of different conferences. They decided to stay the course. Credit to them for doing that. But the Pac-12, as a competitive conference, as something you'll want to watch, as schools that can be in bowl games or be in March Madness, it's nowhere near what the old conference used to be. And it's not going to be anytime soon. No disrespect to the Boise States, the Colorado States, the Fresno States, San Diego States of the world, or Texas State or Utah State. Also Gonzaga, which, by the way, is not a football school, but their basketball program should be huge and beneficial to this conference. That's why they have an asterisk there, because they're not a football school, but they are part of this brand new Pac-12 conference. Point is, they're not the biggest schools out there. There's a lot of state schools there. I wish them well. It's just that they can't recapture what people knew the reputation of the Pac-12 to be, Pac-10, Pac-12 to be. By the way, there's also a lawsuit right now over $55 million of a poaching fee that's claimed by the Mountain West Conference, with a lot of these schools leaving the Mountain West, heading over to the Pac-12. The Mountain West is like, whoa, you're not leaving here until you pay us. So the Pac-12 has gone out and filed a lawsuit against the Mountain West to try and stop that poaching fee from being official of $55 million. So not even that dust has settled yet, but it does seem like officially those schools are coming to the Pac-12 starting next year. I think the answer is simple. The Pac-12 needs rebranding. Let's just call it something else. It can be the same thing. We can know it as the conference formerly called the Pac-12. Give it the opportunity to succeed and thrive. Give it a new look, a new feel. It's just going to feel wrong to have all of these like substitute schools coming in and using the same name. That's not going to feel right. It's not going to be authentic to what the conference is trying to be. And the conference, it can be successful. It's just not going to be the same. I don't want to say this disrespectfully and say, well, you'll never match what those schools used to be. Maybe to some extent that's true, but that's fine. Let it have its own identity. The Pac-12 needs a new name, needs a new logo. I get it. You're holding on to 110 years of history. That's fine. You can know it as the same continuous conference. Just give it a different name. It's kind of how it went from Pac-10 to Pac-12. Or I think it was even Pac-8 before it was Pac-10. There was a big kind of feel about, well, I'll always call it the Pac-10 even if it's 12 schools. And by the way, why are we doing this with the Big 10 and Big 12? There's 18 schools in the Big 10. These are institutions of higher education, and we've got the numbers wrong. We can't even get our numbers right. There's not even going to be 12 schools in the Pac-12. So take that opportunity. Choose a conference name without a number. We'll know it as the old Pac-12, the reboot of something. And maybe this is underway. Maybe they're discussing this behind the scenes. But as of right now, it's still the Pac-12 and they're sticking to it. I think it's okay to break away at this point. Same conference, new image, new name. The CW, that network, by the way, is broadcasting 66 sporting events annually for the rebooted Pac-12, whatever they'll call it, including the CW's doing the women's basketball finals. CBS is only doing football finals or the football championship and the men's basketball finals. Otherwise, everything else that this conference is getting broadcast-wise 66 times is all on the CW. If I'm being honest, that's not the biggest broadcast deal and agreement that's out there, and certainly the Pac-12 of yesteryear would have had a much larger opportunity on a bigger stage, but you take what you can get. And again, that's why I think it's important to give this conference, to give it a fresh start, to give it the clean slate, to not hold those expectations of yesteryear. Maybe this conference can find its way again to some success, but I do think, again, it's owed a fresh start. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Also, thumbs up while you're down there. That'll help me, this video, and this channel. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you back here next time.